up, Hatters? How we doing? Monday, September 15th, new week. We are a couple hours before we start our next round of games. Good luck to all of our participants. We got a couple new teams that are joining in this week. Sigma Nu and Phi Sig. They both have put in multiple teams for both our sports, flag football and soccer. I think it's going pretty good. I come to you with this episode of Serving Our Futures to help give you an idea of how some of those decisions are being made during your games, right? From the referees, right? The same referees that are your peers. So I want to just build some transparency between the two. Transparency that I think will help keep players in the game, right? Our ejections have been high over the last 3 years. They've been low before then, and that's bad for business, right? That's bad for your experience. I want to help you stay in the game, but we do have standards. We have guidelines. The 3 plays I'm looking at that I want to show you have nothing to do with sportsmanship, but they do have something to do with play calls. I think all of them are judgments. So if you're ready, let's get on into it. This isn't going to take us too long, but here is our first play. It's a soccer game, and one of the things that we train a lot in soccer is the difference between advantage and disadvantage. And to help make those decisions, we think of the acronym RSBQ, rhythm, speed, balance, quickness. So as we're watching this free flow, see if any of the contact that's happening between the players affects them, right? And it should stick out. I've asked our referees to call the obvious, and those that are in the gray, use the context of the game to help make your decision. And each game is going to be different. Each matchups are different. All the players are different. So it's hard. And coming up, we're going to show an example of a play that should be a foul. The dribbler's got possession, and right here, the defense is behind him. Defense is responsible for this contact, and it bumps him off the dribble, right? So I've shown this play to my staff, and I have reiterated the need for a foul on this play. Look at it again. The defense is responsible for that, right? And if we're not locked in, like, these plays can stick out. They can surprise us, and the time goes by, and it might be too late to call a foul. Well, in flag football and soccer, we do have this wiggle room of time to make a decision, right? We can go back and call something a foul. But, yeah, that play right there I think is a good example of something that you may see called a foul more often this week. Take a look at the second play. Brings us to a football game. A pass interference. This comes late. I think this is between Sig Ep and Delt Sig. End of the second half. One score between both these teams. This is a pivotal moment. And I really think the crew does a very nice job here as far as positioning goes, what they've been calling up to this point in this game. And maybe this doesn't look obvious to you. And I would say that most of our penalties that we call, fouls that we call, aren't obvious. Maybe 10% of them are obvious. 90%, it demands our critical thinking. And looking at this, what I teach my staff is body before ball is probably a foul. If they can get to the ball before they create body contact, we're going to probably let that go. The defense right here is leaning on him, right? And that's suspect. That doesn't make it a penalty because he's leaning on him. But as it develops, he's making contact with the body before getting his hand on that ball. That makes a difference. And it's a great job by the back judge to have a penalty on this play. So well done with that, crew. Let's take a look at our last play back in the football field. Lambda and the Domingo boys, I think this is Sig Ep B. It's a great play. Like, wow. Look at that. Who does it belong to? Red's excited. White's excited. We have something called a simultaneous catch. By rule, the simultaneous catch belongs to the offense. You could probably make an argument both ways that it wasn't or that it was. This is the nature of refereeing, right? What I love out of our referee right here, Carlos, is just his command, his courage to make a call, staying with the call. He's communicating. He's not going back on it. And I love to see that. Regardless if he has it as a simultaneous catch, if he doesn't, how good is that communication? How are we going to be able to get out of this moment? There's 10 seconds. Spotlight is on Carlos. Now, he does a really well job. Again, it could go either way. I just want you to know that if you do have a simultaneous catch, if that's the ruling, then it is offense retains. But I feel that the defense does make possession here before the offense comes in. You can't attempt to strip, right? I think having an illegal contact penalty after the initial catch is unnecessary. I wouldn't want to see something like that, even though it might be right by rule. But a great example of like critical thinking, and showed you some plays that I think my staff did well, and some others that I think we could expect to see some improvement this week. That's it, y'all. Have a great week. Let me know if you have any issues. If you saw the little ticker about the pocketless shorts, that's me. I'm Travis Potter. Great to bring you this episode of Serving Our Futures. Peace out.